slow it. I ain't finna stop till they make the rap blow it. Shout out, yeah, she was with me at my lowest. Best baby daddy in the world, and you know it. I thought that I was done, he said hop back in. Made it to the league, this is not Pac-10. Headline set, that's a big back end. Let the beat drop, bring that back in. Fresh out the beta game in my jeans. Blap, slap, what do that mean? It mean that banging. Have my hand out, let me hang it. These no can't with me. If I do a song with you, that's a luxury. If Hit Boy work with you, that's a luxury. Don't step on my Crocs, these luxury.
That's what she said. She said, say less. Say less. 'Cause you already got me, baby. Say less. Say less. Talking's only slowing us down. Say less.
I'm a gentleman, baby, and a dog with a bite. I just wanna nibble on your night. So sentimental when I step in the middle. When I do a little dance, till it turns daylight. So jump, in a moment. Margella got me feeling iconic. And if you can't groove, she don't want it. Great sex, say it less.
She said, baby, what you talking about? This was something else with that. That's what she said. She said, say less. Say less. 'Cause you already got me, baby. Say less. Say less. Talking's only slowing us down. Say less. Say less.
Stop the room when you walking. You let your hips do the talking. You leaving me no options. Say less, say less.
Say less.
Stop the room when you walking. You let your hips do the talking. You leaving me with no options. Say less, say less.
Say less. Say less. Say less.
Man, what a hell of a year it's been. Keep on bluffing, but I just can't win. Drown my sorrows, but they learn to swim. Man, what a hell of a year it's been. Head in a bottle, put my heart in a case. Yeah, it's getting harder to act my age. Play a sad song on a tiny violin for the man at the bar confessing his sins. I need some good news. Send me sipping on cold truth. Nobody knows what I'm going through, but the devil ain't walking my shoes. Wish someone told me living this life would be lonely. Trying to get away from the old me. Still stuck singing these blues. All I really need is a little good news. Love keeps knocking, but I just stay home. I ain't picking no flowers for the seeds that I'm sown. They say it gets darker when you're coming on door. Still looking for the right at the end of my wrongs. At the end of my wrongs, I need some good news. Sitting here sipping on cold truth. nobody knows what I'm going through. Bet the devil wouldn't walk in my shoes. Wish someone told me living this life would be lonely. Trying to get away from the old me. Still stuck singing these blues. All I really need is a little good news. All I really need is a little. Something bring me back to the middle. All I really need is a little good news.
Hey, it's Paul. I was listening to the album. Good luck. You're on your own.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
Well, look what the stork brung. Little baby devil with the forked tongue. And it's sticking out, yeah, like a sore thumb. With a forehead that it grew horns from. Still a white jerk. Pulling up in a Chrysler to the cipher with the in a light shirt. Lyrical technician, an electrician. Y'all light work. And I don't gotta play pretend. It's you, I make believe. And you know I'm here to stay, cause me. If I was to ever take a leave, it would be aspirin to break your feet. If I was to ask for Megan D Stallion, if she would collab with me, would I really have a shot at her feet? I don't know, but I'm glad to be back like
Abracadabra.
And for my last trick,
I'm about to reach in my bag, bruh.
like
Abracadabra.
and for my last trick,
Just like that, and I'm back, bruh.
now back in the days of old me, right around the time I became ate some as a way of coping. Take the case of turned me into smiley face emoji. May not be age appropriate, but I will be an 8-year-old indeed with a participation trophy.
I have zero doubts that this whole world's about to turn into some Girl Scouts. That censorship bureau's out.
Set me down. So when I started this verse, it did start off lighthearted at first, but it feels like I'm targeted. Mind-boggling how my profit is skyrocketed. Look what I pocketed. Yeah, it's just like y'all have been like jogging in. I've been running at full speed, and that's why I'm ahead like my noggin. I'm the fight y'all get in when you debate who the best, but I'm some white. I step up to that mic, cock it then. Oh my God, it's a chicken out again.
Abracadabra.
And for my last trick,
I'm about to reach in my bag, bruh.
like
Abracadabra.
and for my last trick,
Just like that, and I'm back, bruh.
break it down.
Sometimes I wonder what the old me'd say
If what?
if he could see the way it is today. He'd probably say that everything is gay. What's my name? What's my name?
So how many little kids still wanna act like me? I'm a bigger than cacti me, and that's why these words sting just like you were being attacked by bees in the coop, leaning back my seat. Open R. Kelly's favorite group, the black guy. In my Air Max 90s, white tees, walking parental advisory. My transgender cat Siamese identifies as black but acts Chinese. Like a hacky sack, I treat the whole world 'cause I got it at my feet. How can I explain to you that even myself I'm a danger to? I hop on tracks like a kangaroo and say a few things that to the anger you. Dad, if I think that, I'ma say that. Cancel me, what? Okay, that's it. Go ahead, Paul. Quit, snake. You male cross-dresser, fake. And I'll probably get for that. But you can all. In fact, them, Dre, Jimmy, me, you. My own kids, they're brats. They can off. Them and you off. You too, Paul. Got two biggest blue paws. What you thought you saw ain't what you saw. 'Cause you're never gonna see me caught sleeping. See the kidnapping. Never did happen. Like Sherry Papini, Harry Houdini. I vanish into the thin air as I'm leaving like
Abracadabra.
And for my last trick,
I'm about to reach in my bag, bruh.
like
Abracadabra.
and for my last trick,
Just like that, and I'm back, bruh.
I wanna try to beat the force. I wanna try to defeat the law. You wanna be with me, of course. Show you look a piece. Wanna see some more? 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 Soul gonna rise when I leave this corpse. Show you look a piece. Wanna see some more?
Don't be afraid of the bounce. See when your things levels got changed to your mouth. How can I walk in doubt? Never been a beg, never been a loud mouth. Pen can go for days. I'm obsessed with it, can't change my ways. So blessed with it, what can I say? Top form staying in shape.
I wanna try to beat the force. I wanna try to defeat the law. You wanna be with me, of course. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more? 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 Soul gonna rise when I leave this corpse. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more?
I'm gonna run it up, though you know your fun is up. James knew back when I was coming up. Didn't wanna know then, now I bet they loving us no more. No, R&R, the bar is raised. If you know me, now I can bar for days. Nothing left to prove, cause I've done enough. Lights out, still gonna keep the torch. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more?
I wanna try to beat the force. I wanna try to defeat the law. You wanna be with me, of course. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more? 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 Soul gonna rise when I leave this corpse. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more? Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more? I wanna try to beat the force. I wanna try to defeat the law. You wanna be with me, of course. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more? 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 Soul gonna rise when I leave this corpse. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more? See some. I never mind if people change. I wanna try and heal my pain. How do you buy what can't be sold? How can you lie to me in my face? In my face, in my face, in my face, in my face. That's how I'm still gonna keep the torch. Shaggy little piece, wanna see some more?
Do what I should, man. Point, babe. Do what I could, man. Point, babe. Do what I should, man. Point, babe. Do what I could, man. Point, babe. Do what I should, man. Point, babe. Do what I could, man. Point, babe. Do what I should, man. Point, babe. Do what I could.
I ain't never represent, baby. Ain't do no wrong. I can plead a good for you. Oh, I know right from wrong. 'Cause I wanna make it. So nasty. I'm $1 million baby. Don't let me. Oh, hell no. You rip my city so damn long. But you still don't notice me. Sour next. Oh, VA next. Method next. Running up the check. See you back, mama, she a diva. No matter what happens, he cannot come between us again. I know we're better than friends. I took up Queen's Gambit, showed around my friends. Tried to pick some energy up, it don't matter. I know you never moved on if you tried. I don't believe it, baby. I know you lied all night long. What you mean I changed? You stay the same. Had me losing my mind. Said the city is mine. I ain't never represent, baby. Ain't do no wrong. I can plead a good for you. Oh, I know right from wrong. 'Cause I wanna make it. So let me. I'm $1 million baby. Don't let me. I ain't never represent, baby. Ain't do no wrong. I can plead a good for you. Oh, I know right from wrong. 'Cause I wanna make it. So let me. I'm $1 million baby. Don't let me.
Bottles and believe we back in business. This is highly recommended.
Spread between 4th and 6th Streets in downtown Minneapolis. We welcome you inside spacious U.S. Bank Stadium. Now the Michigan man, Jake Moody, to get us started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And this opening dynamic kickoff not going to be returned. It'll come out to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. To throw on the first play, McCarthy. He finds his man, complete. It's Young. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. But the Vikings had 10 and 6 now on the year. And they've certainly found their groove of late. Winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves them with a 3rd and 7 ahead. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. And the big question on this final Sunday, Week 18, could he run up enough pass yards to set the single-season all-time record? It's held by Peyton Manning at 5.477. He's within shouting distance, so we'll see what happens and how much they let him throw the football here in this finale. Throwing is McCarthy. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Here's McCarthy. He finds his man, complete. That's Young. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
Defensively, they came into the game with the understanding they're going to have to slow him down on passes just like this because he was over 100 yards receiving a week ago. And you know they want to get him involved here as well.
To the air with McCarthy. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Here's Young. Oh, nice move. And the Vikings are going to be set up with a first and goal as good running gets him down to about the 4-yard line.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, first and goal. Looking to throw McCarthy. There's Addison. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are on the board first here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Elliott good with a PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Thomas has got it. Complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Random, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Second and 4. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Thomas, the intended target, and it's 3rd and 4. Hey, look at this defense for the Vikings. They played extremely well last week in that win over the Packers.
If I'm playing quarterback against this team, after what I saw on film where they had 5 picks last week, all I'm thinking about is taking care of the football, being very careful with it, and making sure I see my guys open before I throw it.
I might curl up in the fetal position.
That's not a bad idea.
I don't think he's going to do that, though. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. That is caught, and he is going to have the Dolphins first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
And somehow he's going to get a yard out of this as he fought through that first contact. It's 2nd down. And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard. This defense for the Vikings, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always say, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%. I haven't seen that number quantified, but I believe them.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. First and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. Eluding the pressure right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on first down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
They'll run with Wilder. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great play there with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own.
And there's an offense that didn't panic after getting down early, and with good reason. No better way to silence a home crowd than with a nice, long, sustained drive. And they were able to put one together here and finish with the touchdown run.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30.
At their own 30-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think...
Fights through and now a crease. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles. Gain some additional yardage.
These two teams all tied after one.
With the score tied 7-7.
Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Back to throw. McCarthy. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Operating from the gun, McCarthy. That is incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll indeed go. Here's McCarthy. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th, and the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. 1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. A Miami 1st down on the 14-yard pickup.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Second and 5. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to hold that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. They'll set up a throw. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 18. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll drop the throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late. They're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them at the end zone as the first half winds down.
The offense on 3rd down, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw again. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Dolphins are going to have 1st and goal coming up as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 2.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over in that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here? Well, to me, at this stage after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here. And this one is right through. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They're coming off a 4th down gamble that last drive that backfired, CD, but really not as badly as it could. Their defense held up and only gave up 3 points.
And what they want to do is play off the momentum the defense gave them. Only giving up the 3 points in that situation after they failed on 4th down. Now they want to make it pay off. They want to pay homage to the defense and have their own drive pay off in points for themselves.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Operating from the gun, McCarthy. And that is incomplete.
How about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 36 yards on the punt with no return, and it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd down and 6. Back to throw. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. On the ground, they go with Young. He will push his way down to about the 14. Here's 2nd and 7.
Taken down at the 14-yard line. A 3-yard pickup.
Operating from the gun. McCarthy. Flush to his right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. This is a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will knot us up at 10. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And got his man complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It's a gain of 34.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
2nd and 10. We're all knotted up at 10, but it appears that may change soon. Only question is, will they have to settle for 3? Flushed out right. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the 1st half. Back to throw here. Toward the sideline, intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line.
Partner, there's no other way you could describe it because that was absolutely just gut-wrenching for that offense. They were right on the precipice. Points were available. All they had to do was just fall forward, and they were going to put them up on the board. Instead, a long drive ends in heartbreak and a melancholy trip back to the drawing board. How you like it when I go a little bit lyrical for you?
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
At the 7-yard line.
A final shot before break. McCarthy. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Now a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 26. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
And Thomas has it. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. Again, he'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Saints back at the 31. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. Second and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And quickly, he just gets that ball out of there. Not quite sure what he was doing, and here comes the flag. Now, if you're going to get rid of it, you better get outside the pocket.
Yeah, you have to get outside of that tackle-to-tackle box, right? Get out there, and then you can do it legally, but he wasn't able to do so, and they end up losing the down as well.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out, and he is going to need to bomb this one. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar, and we will remain tied here in this 3rd quarter.
I don't care who you are. 60 yards is a very ambitious attempt. Hard to make even in practice in the best of conditions. And now, worst of all, you give the other guys the ball to start their drive at midfield.
Completes this one to starts. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. This is Young on the carry. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Young. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Vikings are going to take the lead. So this game tied at the half, but we are tied no more. A touchdown there on the opening sequence of this third quarter.
And what a great drive put together by their offensive coordinator. He had a plan, and they executed it almost to perfection, coming right out of the locker room. Now they're feeling good about their chances here in the second half.
Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes it a 17-10 score. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you've put something out there. You've given yourself a chance. You're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
A big play there on the catch and run. 51 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll look to throw here. Eluding the pressure right. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
Third quarter action here, this regular season finale. This will be 2nd and 10. Motion man is Schwartz. On play action, they'll throw. Escaping the pressure, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. Rolling to his right. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And, Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball. And that one was picked off.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They take over here following the interception. That's the good news. The tough spot is the spot that they're in. That's inside the 5 in the shadow of their own goalpost here. 1st and 10. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. Throwing is McCarthy. And this one's incomplete.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and a defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. This is caught by Addison. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
It fights him off, and that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Up the middle they go. Young. 20. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Marking down at the 9. 119 yards rushing for him now as he is finishing off the regular season with a bang.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Right back to him on first down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. Now they'll audible to something else. From the gun, they'll try to run it. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. Defensively, they must have been expecting a pass. They were in the dime look out there.
I think maybe they were deciding to go with speed on the field rather than bulk. I'm with you, a little bit surprising. They wanted people getting to the ball as fast as possible. The lighter, shiftier defensive backs allow you that opportunity.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
Great defense there on 3rd and goal. They took away everything. Forced him to fire that one to the sideline where no one could get it.
Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Elliott is good. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10. When you think about it, that's a pretty important second-half field goal, Charles. That now stretches this to 2 possessions and really kind of ratchets up the pressure on that opposing sideline.
It certainly does, because that interception and adding a field goal to it, that puts them in firm control of this game right now. They're about one more big stop from putting this thing absolutely out of reach.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They'll look to throw now on first down. Open man here, Schwartz, complete. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. this offense on third down today. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is third down and 12. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Back to throw now on first down. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Give him big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Second and 10. Back to throw again. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Mekhi Blackman's got it. And the Vikings will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. And here in the fourth quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and say, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages, but not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
Finding room at midfield. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 23 yards, the final tally.
Well, partner, they've used him quite well out of the backfield in this one. And here's another nice example. They set up the screen, and he's able to pick his way downfield for a nice gain there.
And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. 129 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Working out of the gun is McCarthy. Middle of the field to Jefferson. And they'll get this down to the 10. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage, because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today. Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Here's a quick throw out left. That's caught. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to bring up a fourth down.
They dialed up the blitz on third down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
A 36-yard attempt.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the fourth.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your...
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Forced out to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
But Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
They get this out left. They'll get only 2 there, and it's second and goal. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
Here now, second and goal.
They'll set up to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. Sliding out of the pocket. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. And they'll indeed take a knee. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go.
Second and 11 now.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good work after the catch, going to net him 23 and a first.
Now McCarthy. And he will have a Viking first down, and that should be the one that gets him to the finish line.
The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
Here's McCarthy.
Flush to his right. He finds his man, complete. That's Young. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. Sticking with the pass, here's McCarthy. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. It'll go as a gain of 9, and that should write an ending to this one. So not quite a first and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. To the air with McCarthy. Steps away to his left. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
One thing you always worry about when he breaks the pocket is he going to take off with it? That time, the pressure was starting to close in, and he's just got to throw this one away.
To the air again, McCarthy. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. Looking to throw McCarthy. Flushed out right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way